How did your mom get attracted to Ikebana, this ancient Japanese art form, and how often do you do it today? Because there's a great episode on the past Martha Stewart show where you're actually doing it with Martha.
He's right. We taught Martha about Ikebana. She'd never heard of it. Because Martha is very American, right? So she puts all of her flowers in a vase, and they're beautiful mounds of flowers. And when we talked to her, this was, I want to say 2006 or 7 maybe, and I say that because I know Mom's memory was already a little bit fragile, and she was didn't want to do the arranging on the show herself. So she asked me to do it, which I did. I had all my lessons from her. But then someone later tweeted, like, why would you have an actress do something so wonderful? Get a real master. And I was like, oh my God, you can't win for losing on that one. But in fact, Martha had just gotten out of prison, which I stupidly mentioned on the show. She'd said to me, because I had been doing a movie about prison, and she said, so what was it like doing that movie, about where your character's in prison? And I said, well, you would know. It just came out. No filter. But we were on the show, and we came in to rehearse and practice, and it was really beautiful teaching her that, and to go back and see footage of my mother just being so proud and sitting in the audience. And I guess, the motto of Ikebana is friendship through flowers. And it started, I learned this writing the book, it started because, but one of the reasons that my mother loved it so much was this idea of communities growing closer through the arts and through flowers. So like the cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C., thousands of trees have been donated sometime, I think, after World War II to Washington, D.C., and the whole idea was to bring our countries closer through flowers. And so that's sort of what my mother loved to do. And when we lived in Japan, we had 5 kids. We had a wiener dog. We had, and we were looking for housing on the Japanese market. And so I was maybe 8 years old, I think, we moved over there. And all the 5 kids were under the age of 11. So Mom wanted to live on the Japanese market. We're going to learn everything the Japanese way. So we went to a house that was a rice paper house. And of course, the person took one look at us with the 5 kids and the wiener dog and was like, no. And so we didn't get to live there. And we ended up in this incredible house in the middle. All the officers' housing was above, and all the enlisted housing was below. And our house sat right in the middle, kind of on this cliff, just our house, with bamboo forest in the back, with caves where you could find helmets and cigarette butts, and we were sure bones of people who'd been in there. And she became a teacher. I think that's what happened. Mother became an English teacher at a Japanese school. And she didn't speak any Japanese, and they didn't speak any English, but she became an English teacher there. And one of the men, the science teacher, I think, introduced her to Ikebana, and she started taking classes with other Navy wives on base. And what it became was an outlet for her spirit, for her artistry. It is such a beautiful art, and the idea is that you have to create something like it looks in nature, but you're also in a community of other women and other people. And I could tell, it's a line I have in the book, I could tell what her day was like because the very flowers seemed to undulate with the toil of her day. So it was something that was very expressive for her.
And how often do you do Ikebana?
Well, I don't do it very well. But I do. I always have flowers in my house. Always have flowers in my house. And I used to, do the Martha Stewart, plunk them in a vase and think I was paying homage to my mother. But now I do it a lot more with there's like a little frog with spiky things that you stick it in. I do it with a Kenzan. And I follow the rules of it. And it's amazing how if you follow the rules of the lines of the art, you can actually create something quite beautiful. So I FaceTime my mom. And I FaceTime her and I'll show her, Mom, this is my latest flower arrangement. And if she likes it, she'll go, oh, the colors are so beautiful, Marcia Gay, or nice combination. And if she doesn't like it, she just goes, interesting. Okay, that was a fail.